Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Andrew Turner, founder and host of the GNT Sessions podcast. And today we have an absolutely amazing guest, Mr. John Lee Dumas. How are you, John?
Andrew, I am fired up. Thanks for coming to Puerto Rico to visit me. This is so amazing.
Exactly. We actually flew over on the 747. Actually, it was legit, actually. So I can only say this is actually the culmination of my podcasting career to come on with such a legend. As I feel like a trainee compared to yourself. Obviously, you having done, 3,000 plus episodes?
And counting, brother.
Unbelievable. So yes, as you pointed out quite rightly, we're actually sauntering on the beach, in lovely Puerto Rico. Maybe not. But so I was just going to say to you, obviously, given your prestigious reputation around in your background, yeah. So I suppose one of the things I was going to ask you about was you've obviously interviewed lots of guests, right? And I suppose the quick question I was going to ask you about was, the thing that you have common with everybody in the world is time, right? So I've seen some of the things you've been doing. How do you use your time today? What does your day look like? How do you maximize your time on this planet?
So number one, I really adhere to the phrase batching like a baller. Everything that I do, Andrew, is batching. When I'm doing Entrepreneur on Fire interviews, I'm doing 8 in one single day. When I'm doing interviews on other shows like I'm doing today, I do 10 in one day. And then guess what? I don't do any interviews on other shows for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month. Like it's all packed into one batching day. Big believer in batching like a baller. For me, putting all of it together, getting in the right mindset, getting in the right zone, getting everything set up, all the lighting, all the audio, all of this, all of that, then just producing content that day. That's the way to do it. That's how you.
It's like a blitzkrieg. It's like a blitzkrieg.
It's a blitzkrieg. It's one of those things where, people, they train all week, for that Sunday football game in the United States here. And then Sunday is the Super Bowl. And that's the day they put the uniform on, they get their head straight, and they just perform. That's what I do on days like this.
So is that you? So you obviously kind of compartmentalize certain specific parts of your life, and you then crunch it together effectively in a batch. So you have your show day, your content day, and then your other days are other
recharge days, refreshing days, doing nothing days. Like I'm either all on or I'm all off. Like it's literally one of the two. And that just helps me go all in and really go big on the days I need to, and then really recharge and refresh on the days that I'm not on. And that to me has allowed me to, instead of kind of being that constant, just kind of like whir of the engine that just goes nonstop until it burns out. I'm just like, let's sprint. Let's have a blast. Let's stop. Let's recover. Let's rest until we're ready to sprint again.
So what you're doing effectively is you kind of bringing together similar activities, so you maximize that performance.
That's a good way to look at that.
Is it like, so do you have writing days as well? Do you have the
absolutely every day is batched?
Okay, so you have kind of styles of day that you use across your life.
Yeah, let's call them themes. I have themed days where I'm only doing that theme.
Okay. So I suppose a logical extension of the question of that one would be, you've got today I've got the honor of being on your content podcast day. Yeah. And I'm a proud owner of your podcast journal, by the way, which is very good. Nice orange cover. Here you go. You're here live. So I suppose the question for me would be, what are your other theme days then? Because obviously you've got 7 days, you've got 30 days in a month, etc. What would be some other examples you would share on that?
So let's go like zooming out to a month, because that's a better way to look at things for me. I have 5 what I call content production days. Those are days that I'm doing interviews for Entrepreneurs on Fire, interviews on other shows, 5 days per month. Okay. That's it. The other 25 days, it's on whatever project I'm working on. So when I was writing my book and I needed to get my book done and completed, which it now is, so I no longer have those book writing days. But when I was working on the book for 8 months, which was a total of 480 writing hours, the first 2 hours of every day on my non-interview days was writing the book. So for 25 days a month, literally my first 2 hours were just writing the book, getting an average of 500 to 1,000 words done every single day over the course of 8 months.
And was that a certain time of the day that you found you was most productive, or?
The first 2 hours of my day. I did nothing else before this. No email, no social media, nothing. The first thing I did was sit down and write the book.
That was when you were kind of in the zone, you in the flow kind of thing. That's like what?
My mental bandwidth hadn't been taxed yet. I hadn't given my brain to other projects, to other people, to other things. It was fresh. I had a great night's sleep. I was awake. I was ready to go. My cup of coffee's right there. I'm all in.
Well, I've got a little sneaky one. So the day you release your book this year, the 29th of April, right?
23rd of March.
Oh, it's coming out early now. So I think it's the 29th of April on my Amazon. Maybe that's US versus UK.
The US release date is the 23rd of March. I guess probably a little bit longer for overseas.
So the 28th of April is actually my birthday.
Whoa!
So I was going to ask you if I could sort out a signed copy of your book. You see, it was one of those kind of. I was going to be cheeky. You see,
That is cheeky. That would be a birthday gift. I don't like to say yes on the spot, but I'll consider it. Okay,
that's very nice of you. So I suppose the other quick question then for you would be: you've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs, yeah. You transitioned from an interesting, an army military career, yeah, into that, which was, and I've read the story, etc., etc.
8 years as an officer in the U.S. Army, roger that.
And so the question would be: is if you were going to say the top three takeaways from those 3,000 plus episodes, for kind of people listening to this episode saying,
it's an easy answer, Andrew.
JLD's here.
Into a book. It's called The Mastery Journal. The Mastery Journal is how to master productivity, discipline, and focus in 100 days. Those are the top 3 things that I've learned from 3,000 plus interviews: is how to be productive, how to be disciplined, and how to be focused. Now, what does productive mean? It means producing the right content, not just being busy like most people are, producing the right content. What does being disciplined mean? It means having a plan of action and being a disciple of executing that plan of action. What does being focused mean? It means following one course until success, one single course until success. Focus.
I mean, so basically no procrastination. Procrastination is not in the place. Yeah.
Hey, listen, procrastination has its place when you need it. So for me, within the Mastery Journal, I have what's called a focus session and then a relax session, which could also be called procrastination, because you're just kind of refreshing for your next focus session.
You're like re-energizing kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't always be on. Your brain can only take so much. You've got to give it breaks. You've got to give it short time frames. It's called the Pomodoro method. If your brain knows it only has 40 minutes to focus, it can do that. But if you sit down and be like, I need to just do this whole thing right now, your brain will find every excuse so you don't do it. That's how you procrastinate.
So just a big point about the third point you said about focus, because it's a big thing about context switching. And, you said focus until you get success, you said? Is that right?
Follow one course until success.
And I suppose that depends on what is success in your own definition? Or are you, I mean, it's subjective, so I suppose you could say, is what does success like? What is the goal? What is the outcome?
Well, that leads back to my first journal, the Freedom Journal. This is all about accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. Most people don't even know how to set goals. To set a goal, it's going to be a SMART goal. It's going to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. It has to have those 5 attributes. That's how you know you've achieved success, when you've achieved not just a goal, a SMART goal.
Okay. So what you're saying is there's a sequence here. It's kind of like identify the goals and the freedom, do the freedom piece, then do the mastery. And then you're going to actually have the life you want. And if you organize your diary then in the way you just talked about, then you'll have the best life you could possibly have.
A little simplified, but you're getting there.
I'm trying to distill and summarize. So the final question would be around your latest book. Yeah, that's coming out. Obviously, sounds like earlier in the US. I'm in the wrong jurisdiction, even though I'm in Puerto Rico today. Where, hey, you've got an early copy.
I did write the book, Andrew.
So what was the rationale behind that latest book then?
Listen, I've interviewed 3,000 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. I've learned from every single one of them. They were my mentors. I was their mentee. I've learned thousands and thousands of hours of conversations. And I was ready to sit down and to write a 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment. That's what this book is. It is the common path to uncommon success. It's not my path. It's the path that I've observed that 3,000 successful entrepreneurs have all taken to get to their version of uncommon success. There are 17 core foundational principles that we have all trod upon. These are the 17 principles in chronological step-by-step order to financial freedom and fulfillment. If you want that, start at step 1 and don't stop.
Okay. So the final question would be: is it easy to go and live in Puerto Rico?
It's all about keeping the money you make in this world, which, by the way, happens to be chapter 17. Keeping the money you make. When I was living in San Diego, I thought
you just hodling Bitcoin.
I wish. If I had any balls, I would have, and I'd be reaping the rewards right now. But you got to keep the money that you make. And when I was in California, I was not doing that because the government was taking half of my money.
Right. When
I moved to Puerto Rico, 4% total tax. It is an absolute United States territory tax haven. So, wow, it has been amazing.
It's a pretty nice location where you can jump to the Caribbean islands.
It's beautiful. It's in the Caribbean. It's in the heart of the Caribbean. It's gorgeous. The weather is amazing. Everything's great about it.
Ayahuasca's on tap,
Yeah, right on tap. It's flowing from rivers. Like, you could literally take away my tax benefits and I would stay here because it's that amazing. But chapter 17 of the book is keeping the money you make. That's an important step that everybody fails at, that I know personally, except for very few people. So of course we teach you how to do that, because once you get to step 17, you're making money. Now we got to teach you how to keep the money you make. So if you want to check it out, uncommonsuccessbook.com, uncommonsuccessbook.com. I've got a video detailing the book out. I've got my 5 endorsements from Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, Neil Patel, Eric Mandy, Dory Clark, all right there. There's 5 insane bonuses you can learn more about. Plus, I give away the first chapter of the book. You can just look at it and read it right there, enjoy it, see my style of writing and how much value is in just one chapter, and pre-order the book.
I need to move my birthday to the 23rd of March as well. Maybe even magicians can't do that. Well, lovely to speak to you. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been an awesome little episode, little snippet. And thank you for your time. And I wish you all the best in 2021.
Andrew, I appreciate it, brother. Adios.
Take care. Bye-bye.